Our next inductees, the dynamic duo from ESPN Sports, Mike Greenberg and Mike Golic. Previously, the host of the cleverly named show, Mike and Mike. They were so good together that ESPN decided to break them up. Get out of here. Tackling the job of inducting them tonight, a former NFL football player. That's a guard. That's a tough job in the NFL. Now he's a sportscaster. Give it up for Mark Stink Sherlith. Come on.
I've been called worse than that. I want you guys, you can just call me Stink. It is an absolute pleasure, an absolute honor to be here tonight to induct my friends, Mike Greenberg and Mike Golic. 16 years, they let me be a part of the Mike and Mike show. And I got to tell you, there is not a day goes by when I'm traveling around. If I get stopped 10 times at an airport, 8 times, it's about my times of doing something stupid on your guys' show. As a matter of fact, I'm walking here from the hotel several miles away because ESPN chose not to get me a car. Trog, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're too kind. You're too kind. So I'm slushing through, and I kid you not, on this street right here, I am looking at my phone because I'm following Google Maps. And I have a hood over myself. I've got my coat on. And some guy says, Stink, is that you? And I said, yeah. And he goes, oh my God, I can't believe it. I loved you on Mike and Mike. And that's the honest to God truth. That happened to me just as we walked in here. Guys, let me tell you why I feel so privileged and honored to be inducting you guys into the National Radio Hall of Fame. Because I left the football field and I found a new family, a championship family in Mike and Mike. You guys made me feel like part of the group, even though I just walked in. You embraced me with open arms, and I'm telling you what, the thing I love most about football is the fact that I got to play offensive line in the National Football League. And the thing about playing offensive line in the National Football League, in the ultimate team game, it's the ultimate team within the team game. You see, if you turn on any sports show in America tomorrow, you're going to hear a cliche. And that cliche is the best ability is availability. You'll hear that tomorrow somewhere on some sports talk show. But in an offensive line room, the best ability is accountability. Accountability to one another. 5 guys from different parts of the country, from different economic backgrounds, from different social backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, different geographic backgrounds, come together to be one. And you guys fostered that type of environment as a radio show to Liam, to Ray, to Pete, to Justin, to Trog, to everybody else involved in this program. Thank you. Thank you for being part of my family on the radio. And the last thing I'd like to say is that Mike and Mike, thank you for your grace, for your kindness, for your inclusion, for your love, because those qualities truly are a measure of a person's strength. Let's watch the video.
Please welcome Mike Golic and Mike Greenberg, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Mike, you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the radio show, they certainly, it's a sports station, so they wanted an athlete.
Right.
So, you know, played football at Notre Dame, then played 9 years.
Who was your coach at Notre Dame?
Jerry Faust.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
He was there for the very brief period of time in which Notre Dame absolutely stunk.
We call those the dark years.
Mike, I'm sorry we don't have time for you.
That's how I like it.
It's the story of my life.
So really, you did this for Grammy?
Yes, yes, I did. No, I know you. I know he's a fan. I always listen to the show. I love the show. I love sports. I am the king of New York. The Super Bowl is here.
We were showing the traffic that you might be having trouble getting in. We were showing buses. You didn't come in on a bus, did you?
Do you think I did, Mike?
You didn't jump on the M21 and come down Broadway?
No. I took a hang glider. I own this town.
Avengers, assemble! Happy Halloween, one and all candy for everybody. We love Halloween. It's always been a lot of fun here. And we are dressed like just complete idiots today.
No, we're not.
We are decked out for Halloween. We are Batman and Robin.
We are Batman and Robin. I am the Cape Crusader, and you are
The Boy Wonder.
the Boy Wonder.
We are Oppa Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
I am Psy, and Golik is the guy in the yellow suit.
Yes.
From the Gangnam Style video, as we say, a very happy Halloween to one and all. We are dressed this morning as Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Bill Belichick is with us.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Great to be on with you morons this morning.
I would have been a better Wilma.
I could be Fred.
You could be Fred.
I could be Fred.
As Captain America's go, I'm probably the lowest on the list.
That's true.
I have grown so used to skinny Golic that I was shocked by fat Golic. It is my pleasure to induct into the Radio Hall of Fame members of the class of 2018, to the strongest, most wonderful people I know. I love you guys both, Mike and Mike. I didn't realize I put names on.
He gave us the wrong statues, but that's okay. Thank you, Stink. My God, that video. You know, the first time that we ever spoke to each other, Mike, I said that together we looked like the number 10. And somehow, 19 years later, we have become 11. You are literally half the man you used to be. And I am twice the man that I would ever have been had I not had the great good fortune to answer the phone one day and have Len Weiner say, I need you to come in and do a radio show with Mike Golic. That was how it started for us. Before all the first pitches were thrown, the presidents were met, the legs were waxed, the song parodies were written, the wagers were made, the cows were milked, the superstars were interviewed, the costumes were worn, and in my case, all the commercials were read. The best parts for me, and I know for Mike as well, were all the people that we came to know. Mark Schlereth, we never had a better friend than you, and there could not have been a better choice to be here with us tonight. Thank you. And all our guests and all the people that we worked for and worked with, so many of whom are here tonight, we are eternally grateful. And I hope that all of you feel proud tonight, because you deserve to. You share this honor with us. But most of all, we're here tonight because of all the people who made the decision every morning to start their days with Mike and Mike. Driving their kids to school, fighting traffic to get to work, singing the good morning song with us in the shower. Every single one of you gave us much more than we could ever give back. And as long as I live, I know I will treasure the notes that we received all the time from soldiers deployed overseas, listening on the Armed Forces Radio Network, saying that listening to us argue over who was better, Brett Favre or Peyton Manning, made them feel a little closer to home. Again, every single one gave us far more than we could ever give back. And most importantly, I would like to thank our families for being willing participants in our particular brand of silliness. We made the decision, to some criticism, right at the start, that we were going to talk about our wives, we were going to talk about our kids, we were going to talk about our lives in addition to sports. And in the 18 years we were together, that was the best decision that we ever made. So thank you to the Greenies, and thank you to the Golics for being the village that it took to raise this radio show.
I get my 2.5 minutes now. And we should probably just get rid of the elephant in the room here. I was a real fat ass in there, wasn't I? Man, wow. And I echo so many of the things that Greenie said, especially with Mark Schlereth introducing us. Mark and I, in another life, would bang heads about 65 times a game. He as an offensive lineman in the NFL and me as a defensive lineman. We tried to basically kill each other for 3 hours on Sundays, and now we've become the best of friends, and we're in a coat and tie. So we've come a long way. It's a pretty cool thing. And to echo along what Greenie had said, it's not just about us and all the great things that we got to do, but how we got to do it and why we got to do it. You know, it was for great producers, you know, like Pete Genesini, like Justin Craig, like Liam Chapman, like Ray Netchie. But not only them, and as everybody who's getting inducted or is in this business knows, everybody else behind the glass, the board op, the researcher, the guy that does the bits, you know, the AP, the PA, all those people for Mike and Mike that did their job so well, but not only did their job, but they became characters of a morning radio show, something that we all understand when you're driving to work, you want characters. They were not afraid to put themselves out there. And we really appreciate that there was just a number of them that did it to make us and help us become what we were. So there was a lot of people involved. And as Greenie said, and he's right, the first thing he said to me on air, we met each other 5 minutes before we did our first show, before it became Mike and Mike. And he said he was going to say this, not to me, but he did. He said, we look like, you know, he said it to me, we look like the number 10 standing next to one another. He said one of two things were going to happen. I was going to punch him and he'd sue me for everything I had. I was a 10th rounder in the NFL. I didn't have much. Or we were going to laugh. And we basically laughed for about 18 years. It worked out very well. And another thing that Greenie said that I would echo is a lot of morning shows at times can kind of step that line, be a little blue. We didn't want to go that route. And Greenie is right, to criticism. We did not want to go down that road. We wanted to be a family show. We wanted moms driving their kids to school to be able to not have to turn their radio off. And that's the route we went. And our families were so important to us. So for all the people behind the glass, but my family as well, my wife, Chris, who the first 10 minutes she heard Greenie and I together as I was looking for a new partner. The first 10 minutes Greenie and I were together, we went to the first break and she called me and her exact quote was, "He sounds kind of geeky, but he's the one." She picked it. She absolutely nailed it. So to her and who listens to more ESPN radio than anybody out there, and certainly my kids, Mike, Jake, Sydney, and a beautiful addition to our family, Jake's wife, Jenny, who have Mike, Jake, and Sydney were 10, 9, and 5 when this thing started. Greenie's kids weren't even born when this show started. And when this show ended, my kids were in their 20s. So the support from the family, absolutely incredible. But they gave us something more. They gave us something that everybody understands from 10, 9, and 5 into their 20s. Content. They did some of the stupidest stuff known to mankind, and we used every bit of it. Greenie used a line, we didn't talk before this about our talks, but he used the exact line I was going to use as well. We're standing up here, but as they say, it does take a village to raise a child, and it took a village to have us up here, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you very much.